Hi everyone. A very, very short update from Ethiopia. So yesterday, the Secretary of State of the United States, Anthony Blinken, had a telephone conversation with the dictator of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, and the two spoke about a number of issues. First, about the implementation of cessation of hostilities agreement between the Tigray government and the Ethiopian regime, and they also spoke about the security situation in Amhara and Oromia. As I tried to cover in my yesterday's update, the security situation in Amhara has deteriorated really, really seriously. So much so that the puppet president of the region was forced to write a letter to Abiy Ahmed requesting for the intervention of federal forces. And according to multiple reports today, the Fano paramilitary group has taken control of a number of cities in Amhara, including allegedly, it hasn't been verified, but allegedly the capital city of Amhara, Bahir Dar, today. And so, unsurprisingly, Blinken and Abiy spoke about that. It's never clear what the details of what the discussion about that was, but I think we could sort of guess what they might have spoken about in regards to the Amhara security situation. And they also spoke about the humanitarian aid distribution system in Ethiopia. So, as I think every one of you will know, aid provision in Ethiopia has been suspended for the past, I think, 4 months now, because the Ethiopian regime and other actors, including the Eritrean regime, actually diverted aid at a massive scale, and that has forced the US aid and the World Food Program, WFP, and other humanitarian aid providers in Ethiopia to suspend operations until a transparent and better system was put in place. And here, according to the readout from the State Department, Blinken has mentioned the idea of putting in place and strengthened oversight, which is an interesting term. So they have discussed about how they could put that sort of system in place so that the US would have some sort of control. And this is interesting in the light of what many people have been saying the US might be trying to put in place in Tigray and in Ethiopia. Many people have been saying that the US is trying to use the provision of humanitarian aid as a Trojan horse to put in place a system of, I wouldn't say surveillance, but something approaching that, something approximating that, I should say, surveillance. Maybe they are trying to track personal data, of course, for a number of reasons. People, data is so precious these days, and many people with really solid knowledge about these matters have been saying that is what the US is trying to do. So they are using the excuse of aid diversion to force the Ethiopian regime to institute a completely different system that enables, again, the US government to have much say, again, surveillance. And I don't have any concrete evidence, so in a way, I'm doing something that I otherwise don't like to do, which is to say something without evidence. But I think this is something that people should carefully think about, what they mean by strengthened oversight. Again, to my mind, it sounds something ominous. It sounds something to do with surveillance and data collection, but it's something that serious people should think about, especially people in Tigray. And of course, the two spoke about peace efforts in the Horn of Africa, especially in terms of what is happening in Sudan, and also the situation of the Grand Renaissance Dam. So the sort of stuff that you would expect the US government official to discuss with Ethiopian counterparts. But interestingly, Addis Standard yesterday reported that Blinken also mentioned the issue of foreign forces in Tigray, and that he reportedly said foreign forces in Tigray, namely Eritrean and Amhara forces in Tigray, must withdraw, but it's not available in the readout. So I wonder why Addis Standard reported that. If anyone of you know what is happening in terms of that, please write in the comment section what I might be missing, because I couldn't find in any U.S. government records that Blinken had mentioned that the withdrawal of outside forces from Tigray. And interestingly, but maybe not surprisingly, Blinken hasn't mentioned the issue of justice and accountability in Ethiopia. And it is extraordinary for someone who had accused the Ethiopian regime of committing, among others, ethnic cleansing in Western Tigray, to not raise the issue of justice and accountability is extraordinary. But again, maybe not surprising in the light of what the US is trying to achieve in Ethiopia. They are trying to normalize relations with the regime. They have prioritized other economic and national interests, and the issue of victims in Tigray seems to have been relegated to something not important, and that seems to be what is happening. So that was the update, and thank you for the listen. Bye bye.